This is Larry Jordan, the host of the Digital Production Buzz. The following interview is an excerpt from a recent program. To hear the entire program, visit digitalproductionbuzz.com. Ned Soltz is an author, an editor, an educator, and consultant on all things related to digital video. He's also a contributing editor for Digital Video Magazine, a moderator on Tupop and Creative Cow forums, and best of all, a regular correspondent here on The Buzz. Hello, Ned. Welcome back.
Hello, Larry, and to you, Merry Christmas, and to all Christmas celebrators listening today, a Merry Christmas to all of you.
And a very Merry Christmas to you, too, Ned. We're devoting tonight's show to look back at 2015, so what are some of the trends that caught your eye this last year?
I think one of the trends that caught my eye last year is a couple of things that happened just in recent weeks, where we're beginning to see particular vendors now, active financiers, as well as consultants in the production of hardware specifically. A couple of years ago, we saw Abel Cine involved with a German manufacturer in the production of a PL mount to B4 adapter. And just this past week, BandPro in LA announced that they had collaborated with a German manufacturer to produce and obviously then to distribute through BandPro a rather high-end line of full-frame macro lenses in 100 millimeter length and a couple that are a little bit longer. I think one goes up to about 150. And these, of course, are very high-end products designed for full-frame cameras like a Sony A7 or to the high end of that like an Alexa 65. But the fact is they're involved now in the production and possibly even in the financing. And now on the level of something more affordable to the likes of you and me, although I'm sure that you're doing well enough to afford a fleet of Alexa 65s, but
I don't even bother to buy them anymore. They're a drug on the market.
They're just, yeah, right. But there is this really cool little action camera that I'm hoping to get a hold of in the next couple of weeks through Adorama. Adorama collaborated with a Kickstarter campaign from a Chinese company that wanted to produce something about the size of a GoPro, except full HD, and with a micro four thirds sensor and MFT mount, which they did. And it's the Z Camera E1. It's selling for about $600, but Adorama actually put money into that development through Kickstarter. Now, wearing my journalistic hat, I'm trying to inquire exactly how much money they did invest, and that amount is not certainly going to be revealed to me, certainly so far. But the fact is that we're now seeing vendors who are an active part of development. And to me, that's a significant trend right now because when you look at the plethora of product, both hardware and software, that came out in 2015, it's almost very logical that value-added resellers know what their customers want, recognize an interesting product, or go about and develop an interesting product with a collaborating manufacturer if nobody else is manufacturing. So that, to me, is a significant trend. And maybe changing gears for a moment, another significant trend is the movement toward mirrorless cameras now, away from the DSLRs. Indeed, you're still seeing 7Ds out there and 5Ds shooting video. But more and more, something like a GH4 is becoming a real darling of a lot of people. And then Sony's introduction this past year of both the A7R Mark II and the A7S Mark II is a whole new dimension right now in the mirrorless cameras, because here we have full-frame cameras that can also scale down to APS-C size sensor, depending upon the lens. And things that are very portable, and in the case of the A7S Mark II, can practically see in the dark. So we're seeing that new kind of trend right now with the mirrorless cameras. And alas, I love them. They're a sponsor of my Opictive user group. But alas, we're still in the situation with poor Blackmagic where they can announce at NAB 2015 and still can't deliver by December 2015. And that's a shame. That's a shame, because I love the product and love what they do, but the ambitious delivery schedules are alienating a number of users, I'm afraid.
Now, are you seeing that camera prices are holding stable, or is there a race for the bottom in terms of the low end, and is the high end able to even survive these days?
I think there's an interesting market segmentation going on right now, and it's not just in cameras. It's in accessories, it's in lighting. And a good example of that, by the way, is Red. Because Red always, assuming we're going to be holding the high end with Red, the announcement this year of both the Raven for the sub $10,000 market and the Scarlet W for the sub $20,000 market means that I think that's where a great deal of the action is. There's probably action in the high end, but I doubt that owner-operators are spending the kind of money that they used to spend on buying these high-end cameras. Well, they're going the rental house route.
The trend is that cameras are obsoleting so quickly you'll never get your money back. If you buy a $20,000 or $30,000 camera, it's dead before you get your money out.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I see, for example, again, to put the Sony plug in there, what I'm shooting on my Sony FS7. And essentially what I'm shooting on my Sony FS7, which is a $10,000 camera, let us say, is the equivalent of what I could shoot on $20,000 or $1,000 cameras or more, just because of some of the feature sets that Sony puts into that. So I can make money on that lower end camera. I can't make money in my business if I'm putting $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 into a camera. That's an absolute impossibility for not that much of a significant return for the kind of work that I do.
Are you seeing any new significant codecs showing up, or are we starting to stabilize in the world of codecs?
Well, we're seeing more and more of the AVC variant of codecs. So Sony, of course, with its XAVC. Canon now, with the introduction of the C300 Mark II, an XF AVC. So we're seeing more and more of the movement toward these AVC codecs in a whole variety of cameras and a whole variety of price ranges. I wish manufacturers, though, would somehow figure out a way to license and ship Cineform, which has been around for a long time, and it's a wonderful codec and wonderfully compact, and I still think has a definite place in the world, and I wish we'd see more of that. But on the other hand, camera manufacturers and everybody else may be introducing codecs based on AVC because they're efficient to shoot in, but everybody ultimately wants to go to ProRes by and large.
Well, one of the problems,
XHD, but people want ProRes.
My understanding is one of the problems with codecs is the chip that's used inside the camera has a data rate limitation of around 10 megabytes a second, which means that you can't use some of the high-end codecs like ProRes or Cineform because the chip can't record the data fast enough.
That's certainly the case. That's certainly the case in some levels of camera, for sure.
Well, that would also makes it cheaper to make the camera because you don't have to have that high of bandwidth inside it too.
Right. That's a factor.
Ned,
Absolutely.
what I'd like to do is I'd like to bring you back next week, and New Year's Eve, try to stop your celebrating for just a moment, bring you back next week, and let's take a look forward at what the trends of this year mean for what we can expect next year. Can I bring you back then?
You can bring me back, and I won't pop the bottle of champagne until after we talk, and that way I'll be coherent.
And Ned, for people that want to keep track of what you're writing, where can they go on the web?
The easiest place right now is www.creativeplanetnetworks.com.
That's all one word, creativeplanetnetworks.com, and a contributing editor for that network and Digital Video Magazine is Ned Soltz. Ned, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Larry.
If you'd like to see more videos like this one, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. To stay connected and receive updates from The Buzz, sign up for our free weekly newsletter now. Or you can learn more about us on our website. And thanks for watching The Digital Production Buzz.